Hey everybody. Oh, a little bit different of a format today. I wanted to talk about fear because it's something, let's fix this a little bit, because it's something that is really prevalent when it comes to being a reader of any skill level. If you've been doing this for 40 years or 15 minutes, there's this fear of being wrong. And we live in a society where everything is instantaneous. We get our food instantly at fast food places. We go on Google and look up things and we get the answer instantaneously, and we get irritated if it takes more than 5 minutes to figure something out. So when it comes to tarot reading, we receive clients that come from this instantaneous idea. And if we don't give the answer they want instantaneously, or what we predict doesn't happen immediately, even with a long-term reading, that's something that takes months to go, they say it doesn't resonate and they want a refund and give a nasty review. It takes time to deal with that, but that fear of being wrong is always going to be there. It's going to perk up because, as you might know, if you watch any of my other streams or if you're from the Tarot and Tea Facebook group, I am in theater. I'm a director. I have a degree in that. I've directed shows and I've stage managed and I've done everything. And a big part of doing that was being, accepting help. I remember the first time I stage managed, and I'm going somewhere with this because tarot and theater are not really that different. The first time that I ever stage managed, and I was stage managing 2 shows. The director I was with did 2 short shows. I was such a control freak. I wanted to do everything alone because I am used to that mentality of if no one else is going to get it right, I'm the only person who can do it. Okay? So I don't ask for help. And the same thing came when I was tarot reading. I did everything on my own because I would look at teachers from afar and I would think, no, they're just not resonating with me. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to invest my money in something that I'm really iffy on, So I learned on my own, and especially intuitively, I figured out my own system on how to do it by myself. But when it comes to tarot reading, it's a lot like improvisational acting. If you guys watch Saturday Night Live or go to a comedy show nearby and they say they're doing improv and they make up things on the spot, that's improv. And learning improv, it's a lot like a tarot reading, creating a scene with someone. Because in a reading, if I call someone up, I say, how are you doing? And they're immediately bubbly and they have energy and they give back and forth and we actually talk about their issues. It's so much easier to give a reading, because that energy is there. Same thing with improv, because the number one rule is yes and when it comes to being a good improvisational actor. You give a suggestion, like turning a doorknob, and your partner saying yes and would be to come on and say, oh, hi, honey, you're home, as you open the door. Or, what are you doing breaking into that house? They're mentioning the door in some way, like you did something. But rejecting and not giving energy would be to try to make that kind of conversation with a client or with anybody that you're trying to give a reading to, and they just give, yep, meh. I guess that makes sense. And they're not giving anything back to you. So it makes it really hard. And this little voice pops up in your head, your doubt. It's not your intuition, it's your doubt saying, am I wrong? Like, what's not resonating with them? I'm worried. Like, what the hell? Same thing with improv. If I were instead to turn a doorknob and then someone were to come on talking about how they want to sell pies, hey, what are you doing twisting that dog's nose? That's still kind of yes-anding, but you've completely changed the scene from what I was doing. You're ignoring what I'm giving you, you know? And that's how you walk away and you feel the energy is off. The audience realizes, that scene is off. What the hell was the other person doing? And that's how the client is like, you didn't connect with me. And then you as the reader, you're like, I must be a crap reader then. When really, it's not just you, it's a give and take. You know, and I mentioned this because yesterday I had a conversation with a student as we were doing, you know, some coaching. And she mentioned how fearful she is of being wrong. And I was even thinking to myself yesterday, as I'm going through, I'm doing a spread for my business, and my cards are yelling at me, like, you have this fear of letting go. This fear of you need to control it, and you need to push, and give, and a reading and your job. Because if you feel like you're not pushing, then you're lazy, or you're not trying hard enough, and you're wrong. And that's very true in both cases. You know, there's a fear of, if I'm not doing it like everybody else, then I'm a horrible reader. And that's a myth. That's a tarot reading myth. And there's this fear of, if I'm not on point, if I can't crank out content like a motherfucker, or convert this many people over to my course, or if I can't build the most amazing membership site in 2 days, then I'm a failure. But it's really just you putting ridiculously high expectations for yourself. No matter what you believe, religiously, spiritually, whatever, we all come from an idea of imperfection. Even through science, if you think about evolution, if something is in an environment where it's not safe, it won't breed, you know? It won't duplicate itself, but it will kind of be immortal, you know? It has a healing factor, and it lives in harsh environments, but it won't breed. Humans breed. We have children every day. I have my own. You can probably hear her. We are in a safe environment. And in that sense, we are not impervious to pain. We're not impervious to mistakes. We're imperfect, okay? Our cells can multiply and create cancerous cells because they're imperfect, okay? We are not run on, even though our systems and the energy, and sometimes we do the work and it feels magnificent and we're like on point, but if we do it again the next day, it's not. It'll change because energy is variable and we are imperfect, you know? So as a tarot reader, I urge you, don't put that pressure on yourself. If you run a business and you're a tarot reader, don't put that pressure on yourself to be a control freak, because we can't control whether or not the client is going to give us the energy back. Okay, what we can do is give it our 100%, have our heart into it, and love it completely, and then you're good, you know. Then you'll be okay. Because as long as you put your heart 100% into it and they can feel you coming at it, that's how all of a sudden you get this amazing 5-star review saying, she connected with me, it was wonderful, and you're like, but I didn't get anything from you. How was I on point? Like, you know? So just try, okay? And if you realize something doesn't work for you, tweak it. Do a spread, ask your cards, okay, what the fuck is up with me? Like, and use your intuition, listen to your body. You know, because tarot, all it is an extension of our own energy. The answers that are coming up, they're coming from our intuition. These are just a tool that we use to interpret it and make it a little bit easier for us who are visual learners and who need to see it in front of us, you know? So it's totally okay to sometimes be wrong. It's totally okay to have that fear, but don't let it control your reading, and don't let it control you, okay? Now, I love you guys, and I will see you in the group. I'll see you on the channel. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you'd like to do, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.